like that they put. Either they put a poem also, so we will not forget this motto. So, he was telling, actually, it is not that we have to, one man has to work very hard. If one learns this delegation and empowerment very successfully, you can run a worldwide movement and still be a very cool-headed leader. You can peacefully be sitting and doing your work also, if you learn this one art of delegation and empowerment. First of all, what is leadership? Prabhupada in his Bhagavatam purports says, there are material leaders and there are spiritual leaders. For example, somebody may be a king, but if he is not a spiritual leader, he leads according to his own understanding. He leads the people. Generally, a leader is chosen by a group of people. And it is expected that he will do some welfare work for the people in this world also. So that is why Prabhupada says, whether one is a material leader or a spiritual leader, he has to be a man of character. Only then he should be posted first. And then his qualifications should be checked. What other academic qualification he has. What other qualifications he has. He says. So, when we talk about the Vedic literature says that a leader is a representative of God. He is called as a Naradev. And he exactly does what God wants him to do to bring about the ultimate welfare for the people of this world. All round welfare. For the body, for the mind, for the soul, for everything. Just like the sun, absorbs water from the ocean and distributes it in the form of rain without keeping anything for himself. Similarly, a leader actually accepts all the respect from the people and gives it to God. And he utilizes his position for bringing about the ultimate welfare for every individual. Best result. So, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 4 things it is said that a leader does for a society. Toshana, Prinana, Upalalana, Anushasana, about which we discussed it before. Briefly put, Toshana means you should ensure that people get nice prasadam. And Prinana means giving them gifts for the good work done. Upalalana means speaking sweet words to appreciate them and encourage them in their service to the Supreme Lord. Anushasana means conduct meetings to give them upadesh and instruction on how to live our life to please God. Like for example, in our Brahmacharya ashram in Pune, Toshana, we take care of prasadam. All devotees are satisfied. We have many varieties of prasad actually. Somebody is sickly, somebody is healthy. We have health sabji. Earlier they used to call it sick sabji. I told them, call it health sabji. Because if you say sick sabji, they'll become more sick. Call it health sabji. So we have health sabji and ragi and different type of items. So toshana, once the belly is satisfied, people are happy, isn't it? And prinana means offering gifts to them. We have an appreciation festival, you all know. For the students we do yearly. So for 13 qualities we give prizes, isn't it? For somebody showing a value of humility, or tolerance, or getting along well with others like that. So we give them gifts. Earlier they were giving one small book of Prabhupada as a gift, which is also not a bad idea. Now we give mosquito net, watch, things like that we give. Boys are very happy now, because they can directly use it now. So yearly we celebrate, all the voices come together, we give them prizes. This is called what? Prinana. Upalalana, appreciation, speaking good words about those who have done some good work, thanking the devotees who have done good work. So we also have voice appreciation. Similarly, we have Brahmachari festival, we have birthday festival, where we remember the good work done by that devotee in Prabhupada's mission and gratefully acknowledge it by appreciating him and thanking him in front of everybody. Everybody becomes enthused also. And Anushasana means giving good instruction to the public, what is right path, what is wrong path, what is to be done, what is not to be done, which will bring us shreyas, the ultimate goal of life. So that is done through the medium of the lectures and the guidelines taught. So, the leader should have a very compelling vision with which he spearheads the whole group which he is leading. We should have a compelling vision. What is that vision? Like Srila Prabhupada gave 7 statement of purposes. That is Prabhupada's vision that he has given, which is succinctly put by these statements. More devotees, happier devotees. This is the vision. What are we trying to do in ISKCON? We want to fulfill the mission statement that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us. Prativite achayadi nagaradigram sarvatra prachara hoivamoranam. This is the mission statement Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given for us. Every town and village, you should hear the sound of the holy name. And to fulfill that mission, we have to work hard for us. And how will we do that? More devotees and happier devotees. Through that we can accomplish this goal. More and more devotees. We bring more and more devotees to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So a leader means one whose vision is very clear and who leads the people to that ultimate goal. He knows where are we now, where do we want to go, and to reach that goal, what all steps have to be taken. He is able to see that. Because he has the eyes wide open to see that, he can also lead other people along with him. Just follow me. Like Prabhupada used to say, do as I have done and speak as I have spoken. Prabhupada said that. He was very confident. He had assimilated the principles of the Shastra so thoroughly, and he could clearly have a vision and lead the people and attain that ultimate goal. What is expected from a leader? As I told you, very first thing, he does not let down his subordinates. Like somebody becomes a very big spiritual leader and he becomes devoid of character. He falls down with a woman or something. Then all the followers are let down. Everybody is put up. So many people have left our movement because some leaders fell from their position. So the very first thing for a leader is to protect himself from the onslaught of Maya by strictly adhering to the founder Acharya's instructions and his teachings. And fulfilling his duties perfectly towards his superiors. Because if a leader doesn't follow his superiors, then he cannot demand his subordinates to follow him. Isn't it? So that is what is expected from a leader. Because a leader, the leading, one of the main aspects of leading is exemplary behavior. And in what it takes to be a leader, who is made a leader? A person is not considered a leader just because he has some political power, he has some diplomacy, talent of diplomacy, or he is charismatic, or he can influence people by his speech. These are all secondary qualities. These are not considered very important for a leader. Actually, the most important thing that it takes one to be a leader is to accomplish the vision of his superior, of his leader. Like Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya for society. What was his desire? We can easily see. In America, Prabhupada used to ask people, so Vishnujan Swami, this year how many temples did you open? He will say, Prabhupada, 7 temples, Prabhupada. Only 7? At least I told you 10, 3 more you have to open. Prabhupada would say like that in the meetings. So Prabhupada clearly showed he wanted more temples to be opened. And then another thing Prabhupada would ask is, how many books distributed? Prabhupada would ask that. How many devotees made? His one Samaksha Maharaj would bring sometimes some 25 saffron devotees he brought once. And then Prabhupada sitting in his asana. Prabhupada asked, how is Radha Damodar bus party going? Yes, Prabhupada, I want to bring you the fruits. Please wait for some time. And then one by one all the devotees came with one rose and offered to Prabhupada and offered namaskar. Prabhupada saw them. How many more are coming? I think like that. Particularly 25 devotees. Prabhupada was so jubilant, he was very happy with Samaksha Maharaj. Because Shoshyatam Grihamagatam, it is said. Not only should you sow the seed and water it and you grow it, when the plant comes, you should wait there, to bring the fruits home. Oftentimes, many times devotees sow the seed and they leave it to the Mayavadis. And Mayavadis take the people and take them to their organization. So we should bring the fruits to Krishna's lotus feet, Prabhupada's lotus feet. So in this way, when devotees are increased in number and they are also trained nicely, especially in the way that Prabhupada wanted us to train them. That is the reason we are teaching through Prabhupada's letters, Prabhupada's lectures, Prabhupada conversations, Prabhupada pastimes. That's the reason. So then Prabhupada will be very pleased and we will get the blessings coming in parampara. So, there are 5 levels of leadership. The first one is highly capable individual. He makes productive contributions through talent, knowledge, skill and good work habits. This is called as an individual performer or a highly capable individual. He has a talent to do seva. He has a knowledge how to do that seva. He has a skill. And good work habits means, for example, he doesn't shirk the responsibility. He is hardworking. In workplace, we need certain qualities to produce tangible work. He produces tangible work, tangible results. He is highly responsible, he is dependable, all these qualities. Say, for example, there is one devotee who is a terrific book distributor. Every day he distributes 100 Mahabig. In marathon time, every day he distributes 300, 400 Mahabig. There are people like that. In our temple also, we had Vamshivadan Prabhu, Shamal Prabhu and all. One day they would distribute sometimes 200, 250 Mahabig books also. We used to go during marathon time. So, a highly capable individual means he is an individual performer, like a lion in the jungle. He can individually do a lot of good work. Second level leader is contributing team member. He contributes individual capabilities to the achievement of group objectives and works effectively with others. So this fellow has one extra talent. What is it? He can work with one more person. 2 people. If you put 2 people together to accomplish a particular task, this fellow is a person who can work with others. There is no problem. Have you seen lions working together? It's very rare. A lion is generally a one lion in a jungle. The lions don't work together. Whereas you find the ants work together. You have seen? They always go in a group. One ant finds a big heap of sugar, he'll go and call all the other ants, then everybody will come. So they work together. So this fellow can work together with anybody. He doesn't have any ego tussles or ego clashes while working with others. Some people say, Prabhuji, whatever is to be done, just leave me alone, I will do it. Some people say like that. But some people say, Prabhuji, you tell me to do some service. If you want me to work with somebody, I am ready. So this is a better qualification than working alone. The third type of leader is a competent manager. Organizes people and resources towards the effective pursuit of predetermined objectives. This is a much better qualification. He is also called as a team leader, competent team leader or a manager. What is the specialty of this fellow? You can give him a group of people. He can take them and he can sit and understand who has what talent. This fellow can do this fellow can do that. He can evaluate the good qualities or good abilities and skills in different people, write down, and then he can think how to engage them effectively to accomplish the mission. That is called as a team leader or a manager, competent manager. So that organize also includes not only people, organizing money, organizing assets, organizing people, organizing tasks, organizing all these things and utilizing a group of people to accomplish a goal. Like in our Pune temple we have the Sundaravar Prabhu. We sent him to Saswad, with a group of 5 brahmacharis with him. And he did miracles. He has distributed thousands of Bhagavad Gita in schools. He has conducted essay writing competition. In Saswad he has a program where about 400-500 people come for the Sunday. Similarly, for the weekend program, they celebrated a Bhagavad Gita. 3,000 people came for 3-day program. Good organizer. Similarly, last year our GGD, headed by Radha Pramod Prabhu, they got the award for exceeding 50 16 rounders. So it's not an easy thing to get 50 students together and manage a huge center. So Radha Prabhu, Anshu Prabhu, Karuna Gaurang Prabhu, along with the Mamal Kendra and Shri Rampu, they're all PMs there. They have such wonderful capability of working together. Very wonderful. So they're running a very big center. Now they're going to make 2 centers there instead of 1 center. So they're carrying the whole team forward, giving everybody some service to do. And you'll find somebody will always be crying with the nose. You have to get in, Prabhu, what's your difficulty? Please don't worry, I'll help you out. And some fellows are very smart. Actually, there are 3 types of people you will find. One type of person, you give him service, you will take the ball and run and put it in the court and get scores for you. He doesn't need any guidance. If you tell him, Prabhu, any guidance, Prabhuji, don't talk, don't waste my time. He will run. This is one category. Another category of people are those, you give them the ball, and then they will sit in front of you and ask you, Prabhuji, can you please guide me what all I have to do? Give them training education. After that, they will show their talent. They will go and do wonderful things. A third type of person is unpredictable. He doesn't know what to do. You tell him what to do. Even after telling also, he doesn't grasp so much. On his own, he cannot do anything. You tell him, Prabhuji, you can't do this. Prabhuji, you tell me one thing at a time, I will do. Now take the ball, what to do now? Run now, girl, run. Then what? Put it in. He wants, jo bola so karo wala. Like that. Similarly, different people have different natures. The third person is a very good manager, which means you give him a group of people, you put him on a bus party, make him a leader, he can go and distribute lots of books and come back. 5,000 books, 10,000 books. And during the journey also he can take care of devotees. But sometimes you experience, you make a person leader and you give him 5-6 devotees. Bus party goes just about 2 hours or 3 hours drive and they have a big quarrel, they come back. And the devotees come and report, Prabhuji, we don't want this leader, he is like this. And I went to pass water, he took the bus and went away. And then the leader will be saying, no, I told you to come in 5 minutes, you didn't come even after 10 minutes, so I went away, he will say. So some leaders don't know how to work with a group of people. They don't know. Yeah, this is a very big capability. If you can work with a group of people, it's amazing. We make project managers. The project managers are supposed to be in this 3rd level. They are supposed to work with a group of people, even to them, by very maturely learning to carry them all forward, because they are all of different natures. Every devotee is of a different nature. Somebody is highly talented, somebody is less talented, somebody is a weakling, somebody is partially talented. How to keep everybody satisfied and carry them ahead is a great task. The 4th type of leader is an effective leader. He is not a manager, he is a leader. Catalyzes commitment to a clear and compelling vision, stimulating higher performance standards. He can get commitment of people, and he has a very clear vision. Now, what is the difference between the 3rd and the 4th one? The 3rd person is a manager. Generally what he will do, the best of the lot he will take and engage them. Those who are not good performers, he will slowly remove them. Or he will unengage them. Like that. Because he wants results. Manager means he wants results. He wants to prove. So, on the other hand, the effect leader is one, he gives everybody something to do. They are the weakest ones. Executive builds enduring greatness through a paradoxical blend of personal humbleness and professional will. This enduring greatness is the 8th habit, according to Stephen Covey. From goodness to greatness, he wrote. So he is a visionary. The 5th one is a visionary. His only job is to give vision. Everybody else can just take one of his vision and they can give shape to that. Prabhupada was such a visionary. If you see, you ask about anything, you ask about farm community, you ask about Go Raksha, you ask about Vedic Varnashrama, how to establish, you ask about how to establish ISKCON temple and run the show, Prabhupada can give guidance on everything. Fortunately, Prabhupada's letters are all preserved and we have the Shikshamrita, based on which we are getting so much guidance even now. Prabhupada was a very great visionary. So when he went to the West also, on the order of his guru was also a visionary, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. He sent disciples to London, later on he sent Prabhupada to America. So, such a visionary can actually make a whole society, move from one direction to opposite direction. You can see when Prabhupada wrote his books, and focused lectures. In America, within 3-4 years, women started wearing sari, men started wearing dhoti kurta, tilak. He brought about a great transformation in the misguided lives of the degraded civilization, if you see. It's a very, very great visionary. So managers manage people for achieving a pre-set up goal. And the leaders are visionaries, they inspire people. What is the difference between the two? A leader can produce many more leaders. He is a visionary. He can inspire people. See, inspire means what? An inspired person will not keep quiet. An inspired person will always do wonderful things. For example, if I have to get all the ants in this campus, I can take a machine gun and go and shoot and say, all ants assemble in this hall. Of course, not many of them may turn up. Whereas there is one very easy way to get all the ants. How? Just put a sugar particles here, they'll come running. Is that not true? So, in the same manner, a leader is supposed to be a visionary who can inspire people to do great things. He can give inspiration to the people. Whereas managers, whatever preset goal is given to them, they will accomplish that goal. See, efficient management without effective leadership is like straightening the deck chairs on the Titanic. So I would like to give you an example. It will become easy for you to understand this. See, at one time, there was an audio tape. You all know audio cassette, which used to be there in those days. We used to hear it. We had 1,000 audio cassettes in our Pune temple at one time. And that was the time when slowly CDs were coming. CD ka jamana started. Then we were planning to get 1,000 more lectures, and I told them not to get, because now CD is going to come now. Now people may start putting CDs, and CD players came, round one, like a chapati, You've seen that? CD players, you open it, put it inside, and you close it and you hear it. So then we started getting CDs. In one CD you can get many, many lectures, 20 lectures. And within a very short time, the pen drive started coming, In one pen drive you can store, many people are keeping it like a pen here and then putting it in the ears and hearing. In the trains, buses we started seeing, that new jamana came, And after that, there were different types of, now in telephone itself they started having, in mobile only they had flash player inbuilt. You can store like that. Now do you think anybody will buy the audio, this thing? Audio lecture tapes? So, here comes the important point. If somebody is doing business, say somebody is planning to start a audio tape shop, within a decade, he will run out of business. Is it not? Because Jamana is changing. Things keep changing. Like in India, in those days, Chanda Mama, Ambuli Mama, all these things used to come. Any of you have read it? Yeah, Chanda Mama. So at one time when the television was coming, they didn't know the danger of TV at that time. But many people who were doing that kind of magazine printing business, when they saw TV is coming, slowly they left that business and went to another business. Because once the TV came, now people are no more interested in magazines so much. Those type of magazines. Nowadays in TV and internet, you click anything you can get. Just put Google, you can get anything. So that such kind of magazines are now becoming not very popular, and they become obsolete. So a leader is one who should be able to envision by seeing, observing, analyzing, evaluating, comparing, contrasting, the pros and cons, the strengths and weaknesses. That is actually a leader. You should have that type of vision. Like Bhagwan Saraswati told Prabhupada, you see, Indians will not hear the divine message now because they have become intoxicated by the West. So you go to the West and preach in English, he said. Then Westerners take to it seriously. Even prior to that, even Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that the Russians and Americans will come and chant Jai Shichanandana Gaura Hari. He also said. So these three acharyas, they could envision that actually, unless we spread the holy name around the world, Indians will not come to their senses. They understood it very well, you see. So, we should be able to foresee. That is actually the meaning of effective leadership. Efficient management means you're being very busy. For example, producer means a boy. I'll tell you a practical example. A boy is going to the hostel, he is printing in the computer, He has printed the pamphlets, he has made, and there are about 1,800 students in the college, first years. And so he has to give. Now he has got it printed now. Now he is telling the manager and the voice, Prabhu, I am going to distribute these pamphlets. I am going now. So and he is going room to room, he is running, and the manager is calling him, hey, full. You are one person, how will you give 1,800 people? Is it possible? Wait a minute, I will help you. And then he says, Prabhu, you come, he collects a dozen people. And then he divides amongst them. Okay, each of you give 15 or something like that, 10 or 15, go room to room, 150 or something like that. 100 to 150 you distribute. So you go to this hostel, you go to that hostel, you go to this side, all of you cover it, within 2 hours you cover it and come back, he's saying. He's a manager, because manager means he thinks how to accomplish a large task by engaging a large number of people, more people. Instead of one man doing everything, so he's a manager. But the leader comes and says, hey Prabhu, wait a minute, have you printed the pamphlet? He says, yes. When is it? Puja, next Saturday, Sunday, we are going to have the first device 1 and 2 we are going to have. Wait a minute, Prabhu, you don't know, on Friday there is Gudi Padwa. Because of that, there is a government holiday. In Maharashtra they have holidays, isn't it? So Friday, because it's a holiday, boys may go on Thursday only to home. Friday, Saturday, Sunday they may not come. Let us check. First you go into the hostel and check with the boys, and then let us plan the program. So the boys go and check and come and say, Prabhuji, many are going on Thursday and they are taking a total bunk, they are having holiday for 3 days. You understand, no? So the leader means he should be able to foresee the future. Before. Not that, at the last minute he says, alas, nobody has come for the program. Like Prabhupada, how smart he was, I'll tell you an example. Devotees arranged a program in a huge hall. They expected at least 1,000 people. And 7 people turned up. And devotees were very sorry. And then the night they came back and they had all small faces. And they told Prabhupada, we are very ashamed to have taken you to this place where only 7 people came. We expected 1,000 people. Prabhupada said, don't worry. Great personalities like Narada and many devatas were hearing the lecture. You cannot say, I can see. Prabhupada said that. I saw them. So devotees are very happy that Prabhupada is not upset with us. But next day morning, Prabhupada called them again for a meeting. And Prabhupada said, you see, there was one very benevolent Jamindar. And he had a very big mango orchard, Alfonso mango orchard. So he got thousands of mangoes and he thought, what will I do with this alone? I can't eat everything. Let me distribute to the villages. So he told them to go home to home and distribute it. So when they went for distributing it home to home, people would take a big mango and see, how much it is. They would say free. Free? How can somebody give such a wonderful mango free? Maybe they put poison in it and they are giving us. So nobody took it. They went to 10, 20 houses. They brought it back. And then the Jamindar said, see, people are so foolish. Okay, now you tell them this is 10 rupees. So they took it house to house, 10 rupees, 10 rupees. Everybody purchased. Big mango for only 10 rupees. They purchased it. So Prabhupada told this example. And then told the devotees, here in America they are used to paying something for such programs. That is the norm here. So you also keep some fee and you will get the crowd. And that happened. When they kept some fee, entry fee, big crowd came after that. So in this way you will see Prabhupada was willing to change, alter, the policies and method of working. Like in America, Harinam was very helpful. Now people who do Harinam and distribute back to Godhead in books. When Prabhupada came to India, he told them to go on Harinam in Calcutta. And the people are throwing 25 paisa. Take it. They thought that many Bengali Kirtan groups come and do Kirtan in Bengal. So similarly they thought this is another group. Only thing is the foreign people are coming and doing Kirtan. They thought. And Prabhupada said, stop the Kirtan. He said, come back. Let us introduce some new scheme. By which people in India will take it seriously. Then what scheme he launched? Patronship, life patronship program. He launched there. In this way, Prabhupada was a visionary. He could come up with an idea. He could change the idea. He could sense the pulse of the public. Similarly, a youth preacher means you should be able to sense the pulse of the youth living in the hostel. Because every college has a different type of mahol. Like if you see sometimes the warden is not favorable, sometimes the principal is not favorable, sometimes the students, they have certain notions and everything. So the leader should be able to judge in advance. Here the example is given. Efficient management without effective leadership is like straightening deck chairs on the Titanic. See, Titanic is already drowning and all the chairs are falling. Tuck, tuck, one by one they are falling. If somebody is straightening their chairs, is it very helpful? So efficient management is like that. You may go and distribute the pamphlets, but the boys only won't come. So the manager is saying, Prabhu, don't waste time. All of you now immediately go, But the leader is saying, wait, Prabhu, before you go out, whether we want to have the program coming 2 days, Saturday, Sunday. Like I'll tell you one more recent thing, most recent thing. Antadeep Prabhu told me that we will have, some 29 boys have done Vada Utkarsh and they're waiting for the topic of spiritual world or something, he said. Then there are other boys who have not done any Utkarsh at all. Sometimes we call the boys, you come for Saturday evening and Sunday whole day. Some boys come on Saturday and Sunday they don't come. Some boys don't come on Saturday and they show their face on Sunday. So I told, this kind of, tuta futa, camp will not do. We need a solid camp. So I told him that put everybody in the bus and take them to some holy place like Dehu or somewhere. So Friday night I was planning to go. So Saturday, Sunday, 2 full days. Probably we'll go to Dehu or somewhere. And boys come, this when? Next week, next weekend. So I am telling you, if you take boys in bulk to a holy place, 2 full days they give because they don't go anywhere. But you call them, can you please come to temple Saturday night and Sunday morning? You've seen that? You understand him? You will see that. So you have to know the psychology of boys. If you don't know the psychology, you arrange a Utkarsh camp on Saturday evening and whole of Sunday. They think, Saturday night, why should we go? We will go directly on Sunday morning. And also some boys ask, Prabhuji, Sunday morning we have to come for Mangalarti or can directly come for the lecture? Some guys come and lecture is, they know lecture will start at 9 o'clock, they come at 10 o'clock. So best is put them in a bus and take them to some holy place. Where they will have all their time for the lecture. You see? Why I am saying, effective leadership means we have to think long term. Power cut, no management success. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. No management success can compensate for failure in leadership. Yeah. We may be successful in managing. Another example that I read in Stephen Covey's book, he says, the government had to cut down some jungle and make some roads and everything. So he's giving a beautiful example. He says that the producers were having machetes and machines and everything and started cutting the jungle. The managers were very busy, keeping the machines polished for cutting and getting new machines also and making scheduling, charting, everybody. We have 200 workers or something, you all start cutting and everything. So one leader climbed on the top of the tree and then he said, stop, he said. And the managers asked, why are you saying stop? We want to finish the work fast. He said, stop, I'll come and tell you why. Hare Krishna, he stopped it now. Yeah. Hare Krishna? Power has come now? Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So, and the leader said, why I told you to stop? Because we are in a wrong jungle, he said. The actual jungle to be cut for making road is on the other side. This is a different jungle, that's a different jungle. So the whole job had to be changed from this place to that place. Isn't it? Imagine, for example, a group of students have been called to come to Le Meridian, Mumbai. And you'll end up in Le Meridian, Pune. Le Meridian only. But the meeting is going to be held in Mumbai. So you have to know. So the team may come and they may be planning many things, but they will go to a wrong place, you see. So, that example he gives. It's coming, power has come? Yes, So now, I told you the 5 types of leaders. Individual performers means like a producer. He just does very little. And then team player is a good person because he can work with other devotees also. Team leader is even more better because you give him a group of people, he can organize like OC. He is like a team leader. He can lead a group of people and give them services, schedule, chart and everything. or a manager. And above him is a leader who is smart enough to get things done from all kinds of people. Even the strength of a chain is known by its weakest link, it is said. So even the weakest people, you can take and engage them in some service like taking care of tulasi or rolling chapati, some service by which they can be very happy. And then the visionary leader, we saw. So now we are coming to the topic of delegation. What is the meaning of delegation? Delegation is the ability to engage your subordinates with some meaningful service which will ultimately contribute to the goal that we want to accomplish. Say for example, you have 5 people with you. Delegation means you don't tell everybody what is to be done. You may tell one person, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. 5 people you give. And you collect all of them together and then accomplish the end result. That is actually called as delegating people some service to be done. And we will be seeing in little more detail about delegation later, but right now I'll tell you what is this go for delegation. Go for delegation means I'll tell you a simple example. Say you are in an ocean, sailing in a boat. So you want the sunset to be clicked, a photo of sunset to be clicked. So give the camera to somebody. Prabhu, can you please click the setting sun? It looks very beautiful. So he takes the camera, and then he's looking at the camera like this. Hey Prabhuji, are you looking at the sun or you are showing at the sky? You seem to be out of focus. You move it little down, you say. Okay, Prabhuji. Is it enough, Prabhuji? Oh, that is too much down. No, you move it little up. Okay, Prabhuji. Now you click it now. And then his finger is coming here. Hey, your finger is blocking the lens, isn't it? You remove your finger. Okay, remove Prabhuji. Now can I click Prabhuji? Hey, you are looking other side. You understand? No? In this way, you keep on telling him, that fellow says, Prabhuji, take the camera. You only click it. Enough now, I am fed up with you, he says. You understand, no? So this is called go for delegation. Giving a service and not letting the other person do, but constantly giving feedback, which is called micromanagement. Micromanagement means constantly interfering with a person. Now can any of you say why this happens? Why people delegate some task to somebody, but they don't let them go ahead and do it. They interfere, They interfere to such a degree that it appears that they will only do everything. Then the fellow asks, then why did you give it to me? Yeah. Lack of faith in the subordinate. Very good.
You don't train him first.
You should train before delegating. Wonderful point.
They don't want to take the risk of getting compromised.
They don't want any risk of compromising the result. They are perfectionists. Very good. Yes? They want? They want quick results. Very true. Because they know when you delegate a person, he's a newcomer, he's gradually going to do it, but we want very quick results. Brilliant point. Yeah.
They don't have a sense of doing everything themselves. They want to take the credit.
That's one of the top reasons. People sometimes feel very painful to see that the credit is to be given to others. They want all the credit for themselves. Because tomorrow, if the authorities ask how this wonderful work is done, then these 3-4 guys will come. And then I cannot outshine them. I'll be one of them. So one wants distinction. Distinction means, see, adoration means, you say, oh, these 4 devotees are wonderful devotees, they did this project. Then you smile, oh, wonderful. You are recognized, our good service recognized. But distinction means you will think, why 4 fellows, other fellows are not as smart as I? So we want exclusive appreciation. That's called distinction. So in order to want to take all the credit, one may not want to share with others. Very true. Brilliant points. Any other point? Yeah? Any other point? Very good. See, why someone go for delegation? These are the reasons. You all said it rightly. Lack of trust in subordinate. Not prepared about what he wants to do. This is another reason. Sometimes a leader is himself not prepared. He's very enthusiastic. Prabhu, all of you come. The voice, everybody come, let's have a meeting. Prabhu, what to do? Let's accomplish the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhu, what is that mission? We want to make every student in the hostel devotee. Come, let's go to the hostel and do a Harinam Sankirtan. all boys will come out and start dancing with us and we'll bring them to voice. So, sometimes he has no plan himself. He may just make a plan on his own like this. So, sometimes he is not very clear-cut in what he wants to do. He knows that he wants devotees, but to get devotees, you need a very clear-cut plan, what is to be done. Actually, he is not prepared about what he wants to tell them, what is to be achieved. So, when the person starts doing, at that time he gets more ideas. He keeps changing. For example, you told somebody, Prabhuji, can you please, type this particular article which has handwritten. So when he's typing, then he has finished 20 pages. The Koti may say, Prabhuji, I'm really wondering, is it necessary to type all this? Prabhuji, what are you saying? You said this is time. No. I thought that, we can just Xerox this and give it to everybody. Yes, Prabhuji, why did you waste my time? Prabhu, 20 pages I have been typing. So better you go Xerox and come. And then you go for Xeroxing in the shop. And you get a phone call. Prabhu, I slightly had a change of mind. What is it? See, if you Xerox and give, some handwriting is not very clear, you see. I think typing is always better because neatly it's in print. And once it is in soft copy, we can send by email and everything, no problem. Then he comes back. So, Prabhuji, should I continue typing? Yes, continue. Another 10 pages he finishes. And then he comes back and says, Prabhu, nowadays, you can always scan handwritten one also, if you want to send by email to anybody, It's good enough. Totally, how many pages are there? He says, 50 pages, Prabhuji. How many have finished? 40 have finished, Prabhuji. Forget the last 10, Now better handwritten is good enough. Prabhuji, I already finished 40. Should I finish the other 10? No. See, handwritten is more personal, you see, Better you go and Xerox it and bring. There are some people like this. So someone gets fed up. My Lord, they don't like working for such a leader, you see. He's a very confused fellow. He keeps changing back and forth. See, I'm telling about written one and typed one. Same with preaching also. You tell a boy, now you go for taking this group, you do UNRC for this, he goes for UNRC. And suddenly he may change. When we go on changing it, then the boys get more and more confused. So give one thing and let them complete it very nicely. So go for means interfering and giving input. Too many inputs. This is called micromanagement. Too many inputs. He assumes and expects that the subordinate should know without his telling anything from his side. This is another big problem. Assume makes an ass out of you and me, it is said, no? So, when we assume, have you all heard this? The subordinate is saying, Prabhu, you never told me this, he says. The senior says, I told you, you didn't hear me well. He says, Prabhuji, you might have told to somebody else. Prabhuji, I know, I told you only. Prabhuji, I'm really doctor, you told me only. Was it this year or last year? I told you this year. You understand, no? There are sometimes, this is what happens many times, and then the subordinate is almost proving that, Prabhuji, it was actually you were talking the same thing last year, you didn't tell this year. Then senior says, anyway, last year or the year before, the principle remains the same. You should be knowing it. Finally, the subordinate says, okay. You didn't clarify it properly, you see. So, in this way, this assuming is a very big problem. Sometimes it is even good to neatly type it and give it to people. This is what I expect from you to do. Yeah? Mike?
Suppose we are the subordinates under such a leader. What should be our attitude? How should we behave?
Yeah. Actually, we have one full session on authority and subordinate. That will be another email course. That will also be a couple of hours. There you will learn how to be a good subordinate even if the authority is not very sound. Or how to be a good authority if subordinates are not cooperative. That we will see there. And then he's a perfectionist, you all said that also. Thus he snatches the role from the subordinate and does it himself only. But stewardship delegation is the real delegation. You see this? First of all, you prescribe the desired results. If you clearly say, this is what I want, understand, this is what we are looking for. And clearly prescribe guidelines. Guidelines, for example, desired result is where the plane should reach. And guidelines is what trajectory the plane should take to reach there. That is guidelines. And then after that, you should provide them resources. So I'll tell you an example, it will make it easy for you. What is the desired result? We want to distribute 1,000 books this time in the hostel. And what are the guidelines? We should go to the hostel. These are the things we should speak to the boys. And these are things we should not do. And how to inspire them to buy the books. Some guidelines are there, distribute books. And resources. There are many resources. Like for example, if a leader wants to go and distribute, he wants some 2-3 assistants with him. You carry the box, you take the book. So you give them manpower resources. And also, sometimes if they have to go some distance and then distribute the books, they may have to take the books in a train, then some money also will be needed for transport and everything like that. And also sometimes if a boy is buying a book, we may want to give prasadam. That is also a resource. Give one cookie or something. So provide all the resources. And then fourthly, accountability. This is closed loop. Closed loop means, okay, you go to hostel and distribute, but every day night when you all come, on the board you have to write against your name how many books you distributed, how many you took, how many you distributed. Next day morning, top 3 rankers, Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. We'll announce it. So that's accountability. Then it enters into your diary or something. And then all the books are accounted for. Not that after finishing all distribution, you don't know some, 100 books are missing or we don't have the money for them, That's everyday accountability and weekly accountability and all that. And then the consequence that is expected from the whole episode of this service. What are we expecting out of this? Actually, if this is known to everybody, the consequence means what? If you did it right, what you get? If you did it wrong, what you get? For example, you took 20 books to distribute. One book you lost. So what will the authorities do with you? They may fine you. Okay, if the book is a 100 rupee book, you lost it. When you come back, what you have to do? You may have to pay some 50% of the money that you lost the book. So that's called consequence. Prescribing the clear consequences. So they will know. Now I am going to show you a story. You can see this. And you will read it. But only thing is you all have to be very attentive to understand it. And then you will understand how expertly this person is delegating. You will learn this. No, I'll make it big. I'll make it big. Is it big enough? I'll make it big, even more bigger. Please read it. Our Madan Sundar Prabhu can read it. He is good English. Give it to Madan Sundar Prabhu, Mike. This is from Stephen Covey. He gives a very beautiful example of stewardship delegation. See, stewardship delegation is a very high class style of delegation. If you learn this, in the long run, the more you grow in seniority, it will be so helpful. Actually, I wasn't aware of this. I came to know about it much later. But I have seen this in my spiritual master in Bombay. He adapts this style many times in managing things, people and all. So, seeing him, I also adapted quite a bit of it. And then later on when I read it, it became crystal clear. This is actually you will find in the Vedic times also this style of delegating. Now you read it, at the end I'll explain it. Read it.
My 7-year-old son, Stephen, volunteered to take care of the yard. Before I actually gave him the job, I began a thorough training process. I wanted him to have a clear picture in his mind of what a well cared for what a well-cared
Yard.
yard was like. So I took him next door to our neighbors. Look, son, I said, see how our neighbors' yard is green and clean. That's what we are after, green and clean. Now come look at our yard. See the mixed colors. That's not it. That's not a green. Green and clean is what we want. Now how you get it green is up to you. You are free to do it any way you want, except paint it. But I tell you how I do. But I tell you how I would do it if it were up to me. How would you do it, Dad?
See, now the very first thing what he does, he prescribes the desired result. The end result. What is the end result? And the green and clean, it's like the motto. More devotees, happier devotees. That's the end result we want. So one time, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj gave a definition of counseling. He said counseling means keeping the devotee happily, engaged in Krishna consciousness. Happily situated in Krishna consciousness till the last breath, he said. And at any cross-section of his life, he or she should be having a identifiable service to Srila Prabhupada's mission. These two things. This is actually the goal that we want to accomplish. Till the last breath, we want them to be devotees, happily situated in Krishna consciousness. And at any cross-section of their life, they should have a identifiable service which will be contributing to Prabhupada's mission. That's all. Such a beautiful mission. This is the end result. So, more devotees, happier devotees, it clarifies that point. Here also he says green and clean. Clearly gives the desired outcome. Don't be ambiguous in that. Then let's see what he says further.
I had turned on the sprinklers, but you may want to use buckets or a hose.
See, he's asking, son is asking, how would you do it, Dad? Now he wants to know the procedure, method, he wants to know how to do it. So now he is going to tell what is the second thing he is going to tell him? Guidelines, exactly. First is desired results. Desired result is green and clean. And now he is going to give the guidelines now. Now he is saying, what he says? I had?
Turn on the sprinklers, but you may want to use buckets or a hose. It makes no difference to me. All we care about is that the color is green. Okay?
So here he says, he is only demanding, he is not very much stressing the method that is used, but the end result. End result. Like for example, some devotees asked me, Prabhuji, the storylines and EBG quiz, sometimes it becomes difficult to complete in the evening class. Can we do it in a camp? Can we take them to some place for a camp and we can complete it? I told them, you can do anything, but you have to complete it. Complete the quizzes. You take them on a mountain top and you can sitting there do the quiz. Or you can sit by the side of a river. Somewhere you can do it. Or you can take them to Lonavala and the nice cool breeze, they can solve the quiz. You take wherever you want, but they have to complete. Or else have some big festival along with it, you complete it. The method is not so much strict, but the end result has to be accomplished. Similar thing is saying, you can use a sprinkler, you can use a bucket of water, or you can use a hose pipe to do. But the end result is green and clean, he says. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Now let's talk about clean, son. Clean means to messes. Clean means to messes around newspaper, strings, bones, sticks, or anything that messes up the place. I will tell you what let's do.
I think something is missing here.
I'll tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Let's just clean up half the yard right now and look at the difference. So we got our 2 paper sacks and picked up one side of the yard. Now look at this side. Look at this side. Look at the other side. See the difference? That's called clean.
He is practically demonstrating. He is showing that when you clean it, it becomes better. But see on the other side, in their house it is so nice. He says, yeah, go ahead.
Wait, he called. I see some paper behind that bush. Oh, good. I didn't notice that newspaper back there. You have good eyes, son.
What is this? He's appreciating. Yeah.
Now, before you decide whether or not you're going to take the job, let me tell you a few more things. Because when you take the job, I don't do it anymore. It's your job. It's called a stewardship. A stewardship means a job with trust. I trust you to do the job, to get it done. Now who's going to be a boss? You, Dad? No, not me. You are the boss. You boss yourself. How do you like mom and dad nagging you all the time? I don't. We don't like doing it either. It sometimes causes a bad feeling, doesn't it? So you boss yourself. Now guess who your helper is? Who? I am. I said, you boss me. I do. That's right. But the time to help is very limited. Sometimes I'm away. But when I'm here, you tell me how I can help. I will do anything you want me to do. Okay?
Okay, now this is the most important heart of this stewardship delegation, what we discussed just now. The heart of stewardship delegation is two things. One is to make the individual completely take responsibility for the position he is given. Like in Pune temple, for example, in those days when I met the managers, sometimes, they would drop the responsibility and push it to me. So I told them, actually, you are responsible. And you are running the temple. And I will also be obedient to you. I'll tell you, for example, one day, morning, when I came, I announced to the devotees that today, I had come from a very long distance after many days. So, actually my name was put for Bhagavatam, But it was a Harinam day, it was a Thursday. So they had moved my name to the next day, Bhagavatam. And that was a Harinam day. So, but in the morning I announced that, today in the class I will speak on such and such thing. Like that I had told the devotees, some particular topic. And devotees were very happy. And later on the manager came and told, Harshampu, you said you will speak on the topic in today's Bhagavatam. You want me to cancel the Harinam Sankirtan and you want to give Bhagavatam today? He asked me. I said, no. I thought Bhagavatam is Thursday. You told me on phone you put my name. No, Prabhuji, you have changed it now. You have made Harinam today and Bhagavatam, your Bhagavatam tomorrow, he said. I said, no problem. Then you tell the devotees, I'll tell the same thing tomorrow. Then the manager took the mic and announced, Rajampur wanted to say something today, but we have Harinam Sankirtan today. So he said he will speak it tomorrow, he said. So I also align myself with the manager. Although he may be subordinate to me, if I align with him, then I make his management job very easy. Is it not true? Instead of bossing over him, saying that I am president, I can do whatever changes I want. Today, and also, yes, I can do that change also, but with consultation with him. Not without consulting him independently. So, same way, the managers of a temple who are hands-on managing, they should be given respect. If they request, Prabhuji, instead of today doing like this, can you do like that? Although I am a president, 99.9% of the time I just accept what they decide. Because there are people who are hands-on managers. They know the situation better than somebody who is a little far away. Like the president of the temple. So in one sense, they are the ones who run the temple. The two managers in the TMC, they run the temple and I take a back seat. But I am available for them. Like here he says, what he says? That, so whom should I report to? He is reporting to you. No, he says, you have to report to yourself, he says. Which means you have to become responsible. But you will be amazed to see later on, although the father says, you don't have to report to me, he will be supervising. You will see. You will see that point will come later. It's going to come subsequently. But he says that you should be responsible to yourself even though I am not available here. This is called character. Character means what do you do when no one is around you? That we will see now. So it's demanding character when you accept responsibility. That is one point here. Another point here is, then the boy is asking, who will help me? What the father is saying? I myself and your mom. Which means you may be his superior from an external point of view, but you also do Mahakleaning with all devotees. You also serve prasadam with everybody. You also go in Harinam with everybody. You do everything. You also become one of the subordinates. And allow that person in the top as manager in TMC to do his job of managing. They will manage very wonderfully. You will see that. I have seen this. When Gopal Maharaj Dayana Swami come to Pune, they come for 2 days or so. Then I ask them, Maharaj, what program would you like to do? And I would ask him. And Maharaj would say, that you should tell me where I should go. Maharaj, evening we thought of keeping a Mahasatsang program, today evening and tomorrow morning Bhagavatam class, and tomorrow evening, a program for the devotees, this thing. Like that I will tell him. And lunch prasadam we have arranged in this house and that house. So he will say, yes, wherever you want to take me, you take me. I am here at your service. Like that they will speak. They completely put it on you. Now in case they don't like going out for prasadam anywhere, how they will say it? If you want to take me for prasadam anywhere, you can take me. You have arranged me to stay in morning in one place and afternoon another place, evening in another place. I don't mind going. At the same time, if I am put in one place, then I can, I can accept whichever prasadam people want to come and bring and give me, I can accept it. But if you want to take me to their house, you can take me, they will say. What does that mean? Yeah, you should put them in one place only. Put it in one place. Don't just make me roam around here, there, different houses. So they will indirectly say, in a very subtle manner, you can understand. So I always understood when they come also, they are in a mood of serving. Like Prabhupada is talking to one boy from Africa. In one lecture, the boy is saying, Swamiji, I very much liked your lecture. Whatever you speak makes sense. We can never have universal brotherhood without accepting universal fatherhood. The boy is saying. Prabhupada says, very good. So you are understanding the our Krishna conscious philosophy. The boy is saying, yes. Swamiji, I am also thinking of taking you to my villages and arranging huge programs where 4,000-5,000 boys can come. And some disciple is telling him, hey, don't disturb Swamiji. Swamiji is very busy, schedule is very tight, he says. Prabhupada is saying, no, wait. He's telling his disciple. Now go ahead. So you can engage me. Take me to your village, arrange big programs, and I am ready to come. You just write a letter to me, fix the date. In this way, engage me, like that Prabhupada is saying. Prabhupada is saying, who? He's a new boy, he's not even chanting. And what is Prabhupada saying? Engage me. Who is it? Engage Prabhupada. Take me to villages, engage me. So this is the consciousness of a very advanced devotee. He likes to be engaged in, because Prabhupada is thinking, I am a simple devotee and Krishna is empowering this boy to arrange huge programs. And if Krishna makes him an instrument and he will engage me in Krishna's service, I am happy. Things like that. So this is stewardship delegation actually. You may be apparently a superior, but you give that position to another person and you become subordinate, and just wait and watch. You can accomplish enormous, very great goals you can accomplish. Yeah. Read further.
Now guess who judges you? Who? You judge yourself. I do. That's right. Twice a week, two of us will walk around the yard, and you can show me how it is coming. How are you going to judge? Green and clean. Right?
See now, why once a week both of them have to go? If the boy is his own boss, then let him only judge and the father should be out of the picture. But here what is he saying? Two of us. Now you may have a question, Prabhuji, you say that the boy is his own boss, then why should the father come into picture? That actually the father is making him a leader, who will be committed to himself. Like that is making, yeah.
I trained him with those two words for 2 weeks before I felt he was ready to take the job. Finally, the big day came. Is it a deal, son? It's a deal. What's the job? Green and clean. What's green? He looked at our yard, which was beginning to look better. Then he pointed next door. That's the color of his yard. What's clean? No messes. Who's the boss? I am. Who's your helper? You are, when you have time. Who is the judge? I am. We walk around 2 times a week, and I can show you how it is coming. And what will we look for? Green and clean.
You understood this? See how clear. This is stewardship. This is the essence of stewardship delegation. Make the individual committed. Because we are making so many PMs, OCs and all responsible, but many times this is not well understood. That's why I am speaking on this topic. The person to whom you are entrusting responsibility, they should be totally responsible. He is asking, who is the boss? I am. And whom I am accountable to? I am myself. He says. And what are you looking for? Desired results? Green and clean. And what is green? What is clean? Clean means no messes. Green means like that courtyard. Everything is clear. So there is no ambiguity here. Go ahead.
At that time,
A minute.
I didn't mention an allowance, but I wouldn't hesitate to attach an allowance to such a stewardship. 2 weeks and 2 words. I thought he was ready. It was Saturday, and he did nothing. Sunday, nothing. Monday, nothing. As I pulled out of the driveway on the way to work on Tuesday, I looked at the yellow, cluttered yard and the hot July sun on its way up. Surely he will do it today, I thought. I could rationalize Saturday because that was the day we made the agreement. I could rationalize Sunday for other things. But I couldn't rationalize Monday. And now it was Tuesday. Suddenly he would do it today. It was summertime. What else he has to do? All day, I hardly wait to return home to see what happened. As I rounded the corner, I met with the same picture I left that morning. And there was my son at the park across the street playing. This was not acceptable. I was upset and disillusioned by his performance after 2 weeks of training and all those commitments. We had a lot of effort, pride, and money invested in yard, and I could see it going down the drain. Besides, my neighbor's yard was manicured and beautiful, and the situation was beginning to get embarrassing. I was ready to go for delegation.
Government is interfering in between, micromanagement, yeah.
Son, you get over here and pick up this garbage right now, or else I knew I could get the golden egg that way. But what about the goose? What would happen to his eternal commitment? So I faked a smile, yelled across the street, "Hi son, how is it going?" "Fine," he returned. "How is the yard coming?"
Vanished. You see, this is a question that should not have been asked. Because the father said, "I am not your boss." Who is your boss? You yourself. But now he is asking, how is the yard coming? So he has failed. You understand, no? Because in this way interfering, he made the son become committed to the father, not to himself. Because we have to training means training in consciousness. Training is not something external. We may teach people how to put tilak, how to bow down, and how to do agarbatti. This is external training. Training actually means training in consciousness. We have to make people become committed to themselves and to keep their promise and keep their word. But here he is intruding now. How is the yard coming? Yeah.
How is the yard coming? I knew the minute I said it, I had broken the agreement.
That's what he is saying. Yeah.
That's not the way we have set up the accounting. That's not what we had agreed. So he felt justified in breaking it too. Find that.
That's what people will do, if you ask.
I bit my tongue and waited until after dinner. Then I said, "Son, let's do as we agreed. Let's walk around the yard together and you can show me how it is going in your stewardship." As he started out the door, his chain began to quiver. Tears welled up in his eyes, and by the time we got out to the middle of the yard, he was whimpering. "It's so hard, Dad." "What's so hard?" I thought to myself. You haven't done a single thing. But I knew what was hard. Self-management. Self-supervision. So I said, "Is anything I can do to help?" "Would you, Dad?" He sniffed. "What was our agreement? You said you would help me if you had time." I had time. So he ran into the house and came back with two sacks. He handed me one. "Will you pick up that stuff up?" He pointed to the garbage from Saturday night's barbecue. "It makes me sick." So I did. I did exactly what he asked me to do. And that was when he signed the agreement in his heart. It became his yard, his stewardship. He only asked 2 or 3 more times that entire summer. He took care of that yard. He kept it greener and cleaner than it had ever been under my stewardship. He even reprimanded his brothers and sisters if they left so much as a gum wrapper on the lawn. Trust is the highest form of human motivation. It brings out the very best in people, but it takes time and patience, and it doesn't preclude the necessity to train and develop people so that their competency can rise to the level of that trust. I'm convinced that if stewardship delegation is done correctly, both parties will benefit, and ultimately much more work will be done in much less time. I believe that a family that is well organized, whose time has been spent effectively delegating on one-on-one basis, can organize the work so that everyone can do everything in about an hour a day. But that takes the internal capacity to want to manage, not just to produce. The focus is on effectiveness, not efficiency. Certainly, you can pick up that room better than a child, but the key is that you want to empower the child to do it. It takes time. You have to get involved in the training and development. It takes time, but how valuable that time is downstream. It saves you so much in the long run. This approach involves an entirely new paradigm of delegation. In effect, it changes the nature of the relationship. The steward becomes his own boss, governed by a conscience that contains the commitment to agreed upon desired results. But it also releases his energies towards doing whatever is necessary in harmony with correct principles to achieve those desired results. The principles involved in stewardship delegation are correct and applicable to any kind of person or situation. With immature people, you specify less desired results and more guidelines.
This is the secret. If a leader has not enough trust in the subordinate, you should give more guidelines and less desired result from such a person. And if you have tremendous trust in your subordinate, you are confident of his skills and abilities, then less guidelines and very big result. Practical example, when His Grace Burijan Prabhu brought some $200 to Prabhupada and gave a donation, Prabhupada appreciated. Prabhupada said, "Thank you very much. You have been regularly offering donations like this on and off. Little donation." He appreciated it. And then later on, His Holiness Tamaksha Maharaj came and he gave some $20,000. And Prabhupada saw it and said, that's all? He was asking. Because he was in charge of Radha Damodar Bus Party and Prabhupada had a very big expectation from him. Even $20,000 was less from his point of view. At that time, Burijan Prabhu was in the family, but he was sending letters to Prabhupada and regularly sending donations along with every letter. You will see in his book, My Glorious Master, you will see. So Prabhupada appreciated the regularity in giving donation of small amounts of money. Whereas from Tamaksha Maharaj, Prabhupada's expectation was very high. Similarly, here he says, when you have a lot of trust in the competence of the person to whom you are giving, then very little guidelines are enough. But you can expect big results. You can demand. And that is opposite is saying in the other case. Yeah, go ahead.
With immature people, you specify less desired results and more guidelines, identify more resources, conduct more frequent accountability interviews, and apply more consequences. With more mature people, you have more challenging desired results, fewer guidelines, less frequent accountability, and less measurable but more discernible criteria. Effective delegation is perhaps the best indicator of effective management simply because it is so basic to both personal and organizational growth.
So, this is the real challenge when you are, for example, we are making so many project managers. The project manager should own the project. You know what is owning the project? I want to say a few words about it. Like our Vamshi Vadan Prabhu, he was in Pune in charge of the Bhakti Shastri courses to be conducted in different parts of Pune. So one time he came and told me that, Prabhu, we have 8 Bhakti Shastri programs going on in Pune, in English, Hindi and other things. So one day he came and lamented to me that, Prabhu, many of the seniors who do this program on Friday or Thursday or Wednesday or whatever day, sometimes they're going out of Pune and they just inform me, that I am going out of Pune, you arrange a preacher, and I cannot arrange alternative preacher. Sometimes they go without informing me also. And someday I see them in the morning, they are in the temple, but evening they say that they are sickly and they are not going. So, when they don't own the program, then the whole thing comes on my head, and I cannot expand myself into 8 forms to go to 8 programs, It's not possible. So, at that time we came up with a decision. Not only Bhakshastri, even the new programs we start. We learnt one good lesson by experience, that there are many brahmacharis who are ready to give classes, but not own the program. There's a difference between giving classes and owning the program. What is the difference? For example, you are going in the train, there is somebody's baby, child very nicely decorated, he has plumpy cheeks, you say bluish eyes, curly hair, very attractive looking. Sometimes people, they pinch a child and, have some fun, with a small baby, somebody else's baby. But you don't own the child. But one who owns the child, they have to clean the stool and urine also of the child. They have to bathe the child, dress the child, take responsibility for the child. Is it not true? If somebody has begotten the child. But somebody else occasionally pinching child, enjoying, they are not responsible for the child. You understand the difference between the two? Similarly, some people, they have studied a lot, Prabhupada books and everything. Now they want some forum where they can speak out. They say, anywhere they will go round and round, go here, go there, anybody calls, go, give some program or something like that. So they don't own the responsibility for training and purifying the hearts and uplifting the people and those kind of things. Just you have fun speaking. So, me and Vamshadan Prabhu made it very clear to preachers. If you want any congregation program, the first thing is you have to own the baby. Own the program. It is your program. In case your program is on Saturday, you cannot go for the program, then you arrange some lecture to be played there, or you cancel the program, you have to own it. Or you go and beg one of your equal friends, please go for the program. It is whose baby? It is your baby, Prabhu. Like that we made it very clear. Then we understood how many guys wanted to program. Many of them backed out. Because most people in this world want to enjoy life without responsibility. That is the world we are living in. That is why we have very few people, PMs. Like, we have practically 1,000 devotees connected to Pune. But hardly we have enough PMs. You ask Sadhaki Prabhu, he can tell you. We have 30 centers, youth centers. To get one project manager is so difficult. We are breaking our head, to sometimes one person we are telling him take care of 2 to 3 centers. Because responsible people are very difficult to get. Those who will accept total responsibility. That one leader is very difficult to get, generally. I am getting phone calls from so many ISKCON temples. Prabhu, we are handing over the temple to you. Please send one president man along with some 5-10 devotees, run the temple. Everywhere people are asking for devotees, if you see. Actually, the followers are very easy to get. You'll get a big crowd. Yesterday, Gaurang Prabhu called up. He said in Palghar they have 6 months to 1 year, a temple is coming up. They are going to have deity. He said, which is temple? They have congregation of 200 people. Only thing is they want a leader and some few devotees who will stay in the temple and run the temple. Because as I told you, the devotees are difficult to get, and amongst them the leader is the most difficult to get. Because you will find some leader is a very Trinadapishanichan, a very simple, pure hearted soul. Only he may not have leadership skills. But he is a very sattvic devotee, very nice devotee. So he will never expand the mission. He will take care of his own devotion service. And there are some leaders who have very good skills, they have leadership skills, they can expand, but they will have character problem. Somebody. Okay, so he will have problem with the woman, problem with the money and things like that. Okay, somebody doesn't have character problem also, somebody has skills also. Only thing is he will never study Shastra. He will not know Shastras deeply. So he may be giving lectures, but he will never touch the Shastra. He has never heard properly. Okay, somebody is a very big scholar in Shastra, he has character also, he has skills also. Only thing is he will come to the temple in the morning at 10 o'clock. There are many leaders. Many leaders, they think that the morning program is only for the neophytes. And I am already senior devotee, he will come at 10 o'clock. He won't set an example for others. Chaitanya says, even though you may be a great soul, you should set example for others, he says. Apani acharya kari, sabarisika, he says. So, as you go higher and higher, the number becomes smaller and smaller. It is very difficult to get good leaders. So if you're making somebody project manager, they should take total responsibility for the project. They should say, Prabhu, you leave it to me, I will do it and show it. I know that, for Utkarsh, I want to bring about 20-25 devotees. Now there are voices where I can tell you, 24 students are living and only 3 facilitators going out. And they are just doing nice bhajan. Prabhu, yesterday we had a bhajana sandhya for 3 hours. Hari bol, They are like that. There are many of the voices. They don't know the vision. Yeah, they are celebrating festival, they are having everything, but they are not going out and preaching and bringing people. So the leader is not feeling responsibility and the whole batch is passing out. The next batch, now in one of the voices, the next batch will have only 6 people. It is starving, sickly. Any time it will be closed down. So, the person whom you are making as PM, you should know if he doesn't know the guidelines, he has to ask. The idea is they should take full responsibility. Like you saw stewardship delegation. So, first he's telling the desired result, then he's telling the guidelines, and after giving guidelines, he's demanding accountability. You have to be accountable to yourself. But I will also come with you and watch, he says. And he is also providing resources. And then finally, it has the consequences of what? For example, you make somebody a PM. 1 year, he didn't do any good work there. He was just sitting there and just doing his own thing. And there are people who don't produce any results at all. Now you all may say, Prabhuji, we are talking about spiritual life. If somebody is a sincere devotee chanting Hare Krishna, is that not good enough? That is good enough for average devotee, not for a leader. If you are going to be a leader, the leader has to produce results. The results, what is the first aspect of producing result is to take care of the inmates inside devotee. That's the first aspect. Janma sarataka kori, then karapara upaka. That is why 3 things, Bhakti Shakti, Priti Lakshanam, Paropakar. These 3 things. Bhakti Shakti, every individual devotee should be taught to relish Krishna consciousness individually. And then such relishing devotees should associate with each other. And from that comes Priti Lakshana. After these 2 are established, then you go out and tell people, just come and see how wonderful what we have. You can call the boys. If you come to this place, you will become a happy person. That is Paropakar. You see? So, it's a duty of every leader to work towards this goal in a very transparent way, in a selfless manner. These are results, guidelines, resources. Yeah. Consequences. It's clear now to everybody? So you understood how delegation should not be done. That is, go for delegation. And this is stewardship delegation. Please read it. This is very important, yeah.
Stewardship delegation. Guidelines and resources are provided by the superior and accountability is given by the subordinate. Volunteering of the subordinate is very important.
That part. Volunteering part. Sometimes what happens, you want to delegate a service to a devotee. The beginning only devotee says, Prabhuji, if you don't have anybody in the voice, then you call me. He says, at last you call me. Okay, at last you go to him. And then he says, Prabhuji, you couldn't find anybody? Up also some devotees are there, down also some devotees. No, I have seen upper loka, lower loka, everything I have seen. Now no one is there, everybody has gone to college or library or here or there, you are the only one. Okay, Prabhuji, okay, give me. You understand, no? And when you are telling him the task, he says, Prabhuji, I have already told you, my exams are coming, my parents are also coming tonight, and I have many things to do. Whatever you are telling me, I will try to do. And if it doesn't happen, please don't blame me. Do you think this fellow is going to do? Yeah, that's what he is saying, that volunteering of the subordinate is very important. And the subordinate should be very happy to accept what you are delegating. It is not only enough for you to delegate. Sometimes you give a great vision. I remember when corporate voice was started, I spoke 5 hours non-stop, And where are we now? And in 5 years, where will corporate voice be? And there were about 25-30 people, Probably half of them slept off, I told the vision, I drew map and everything. Where are we now and where will we go? And what all things will happen in Pune and everything. Nobody recorded that also. And I don't know whether somebody noted down. But this was how many years ago? 8 years ago. and not even, 1/5 of that is accomplished yet. Because I learned a good lesson in my life. You should not give a big watermelon and push it into somebody's mouth. They cannot eat it. If you have to eat watermelon, what you should do? Cut it in slices, and one by one you can finish any number of watermelons you can finish if you eat in slices. So nowadays I have learned I don't give a very big vision to many people. You keep big vision to yourself and give one piece. Take out one and give. Probably try this and try one more. And you finish the whole thing. Little by little. So the volunteering is very important. Yeah, go ahead.
We should have slogans.
Yeah, we should have slogans.
We should have slogans to remember the goal that makes our expectations very clear. People will never forget it then.
Like for voice, we have rekindling wisdom, reviving love. That is the motto for voice, isn't it? Similarly for ISKCON, we have purity is the force, our books are the basis, and purity is the force, preaching is the essence, and utility is the principle. So, these kind of slogans are very helpful to clarify our vision and mission to people. Similarly here, in the stewardship example, we discussed green and clean, like that.
Repeat what you're expecting from subordinates.
This is one quality that a leader needs. If you don't keep repeating the ultimate end result that you are looking for, they will tend to forget it. Either you should bring it out of their mouth, or if they are unable to remember, you should remind them. Yeah.
First we do it and show it, and also involve them. And when they do, we appreciate them.
So, demonstration, this is called demo. You demonstrate it yourself. Like for example, I give a Discover Yourself lecture. Everybody hears it. And then a boy becomes a devotee. Then you tell him, now you give the lecture. Just like here is a PPT, here is the notes. You study nicely and come. So device 1, you present now. When he presents, you observe it, give some marking, 10 criteria system we have. After that, you give him the feedback and then check what is his stamina, in taking questions and answering questions. So, and then when people ask questions, you will get to know what type of preacher is he. How does he present and how does he tackle questions? You can know. And then you give your positive inputs because you are senior and you are his well-wisher. He is willing to hear you and learn from you. So this is the method of training. Each one teaches one while being taught by one, we say. So that boy is getting trained by you, but he is also training some facilities under him. He is on one hand training some people and taking training. Similarly the preacher, I train him, but I take training from people above me. In this way, everybody is in a series of leadership. We all learn from people above and we hand over below. Yeah.
Boss has become servant. Servant has been made the boss.
Yeah.
If you follow Srila Prabhupada's footsteps, then your life will become so simple. You dedicate the service and give the person the necessary freedom. To judge oneself is the toughest thing. To take commitment for himself is difficult. Father is making him self-reliant and self-responsible.
3 things. Self-motivated, self-reliant, self-responsible. Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada, running a worldwide movement, would have time to keep his pen in the box.
See, Prabhupada established more than 100 temples, but he would take out his specs and keep it in a box, take his pen and keep it in a box. It's not that Prabhupada was running a big movement, he was running all the time. Running here, running there. He was not like that. He led a very cool life. You will see, Prabhupada would get up at 1 o'clock. This was the schedule of Prabhupada. So 1 to 5, you would translate, you would take a bath, and then you would go for a morning walk with some devotees, speak some philosophy that time. And then Prabhupada would come back for Govinda Madhipurusham, Shringar Darshan, and he would give a Bhagavatam class. After the class is over, some devotees would meet him regarding managerial advice for about 1.5 hours or so. And after that, Prabhupada would reply some letters. He would dictate answer in his dictaphone, and they would type it out and send the letters out to people. By the time it becomes almost 11:30 or 12, Prabhupada would take a massage, oil massage. Because he would travel so extensively, his vata would increase. in the body. So naturally, the doctor said, two things doctor said will prolong your life. One is the morning walk, 1 hour, and application of oil, massaging. So he would take oil massage and take bath and then get ready by 1:30. So 12 to 1:30 he would take bath, oil bath. And 1:30 he would take his prasad. Then after taking prasad, he would take an hour rest or so. 1 hour. I heard this from our Ahmedabad president, our Yashomathanandan Prabhu, he told. Sometimes he would take 1 hour, sometimes 1.5 hours, because morning he would get up very early, 1 o'clock. Then after that, then he would call the devotees and talk to them and clarify doubts of the devotees. Devotees would meet Prabhupada sometimes even 1 or 2 hours and ask many questions to Prabhupada sometimes. Those are all dialogues, you will see. Sometimes he would have 2 to 3 programs in one go. Like he would start from 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock and till 9:30, 10 there will be 3 programs in 3 places. He would give a program and go to next place, then third place, like that. Sometimes he would give one program, big program, and then he would go to 2 houses and make them into life members. Which also is like a small program, because if you would go to your house, he has to speak for a while, accept some fruits or some prasad, and then wish the family members and everything, talk to them, then go to another house. So 2 to 3 programs the Prabhupada would do like that in the evening. And the night he would go to bed at 9:30 or 10. 10 to 1 sleep, that's all. This was Prabhupada's schedule. So, and Prabhupada, as it is said here, Prabhupada was relaxed even while guiding and managing thousands of people. Sometimes our life becomes a haribari, we feel tension, there are too many things we have to do. That's a good proper example. Yeah. The second point I already told you. Yeah. Go to the third point.
Making people become self-committed is very difficult. People with high level of self-commitment is the greatest fortune. Yeah,
if you have people who are self-committed, they are the best people. Yeah.
What should be the underlying secret to make a person more responsible? He is self-motivated, he has his heart there. If he sees go for delegation from top, then he loses enthusiasm.
Yeah. So there are people like this who are responsible and who are self-motivated. There are people you have to identify, as I told you. Generally we make those people into leaders who are dependable, trustworthy, responsible, self-motivated, self-reliant. They can stand on their own leg. You have to only observe by trial and error. We observe. Who can do that? Like one of our brahmacharis told, Prabhuji, हमारा लॉकर इतना छोटा है, इसको संभालने के लिए हमारा चक्कर हो जाता है. He said, for maintaining the small locker, my head is spinning. How does a manager manage 150 devotees? We cannot manage our small locker. How is he managing so many men? Once Bhaktirasa Maharaj was telling in a Vyas Puja offering, he said, the most, in this world it is very difficult to manage things, because managing things is not easy. But more difficult than managing things is managing people, because people have free will and they move from place to place and they think and they speak unlike the things. You see? So people are very difficult to manage. More difficult than managing people is managing devotees. Yeah. Because devotees are Krishna's property. At the same time they are not fully pure. They are conditioned souls also and they are becoming devotees also. So they exhibit some anartha qualities also and some good qualities also. So it becomes difficult managing devotees. Sometimes some 10 devotees come to you and say, Prabhu, we volunteered to cut some sabji in the kitchen. You say, wonderful Prabhus, your heart is so broad, so big, please come. Here is the chakku and everything, please sit and cut sabji. And the cutting sabji, you go 10 minutes somewhere and come back and see, whole kitchen is kali. Hey, kidhar chale gaye? Prabhu, you don't know, Maharaj has come. In the temple our kirtan is going on, so they have gone already. They would run away. This is a devotee, special devotees. So, yeah. Actually, when they have ample of time, they will volunteer for service. And when Maharaj has come, Maharaj lecture, they'll run away. So, managing devotees is not an easy thing. Very, very tough thing it is. And managing more number of devotees is even more challenging. So, amongst them, you have to find out who is a manager who is polite and firm simultaneously. He is polite, at the same time he is strict also. Some managers are so polite, like we had put one devotee for Vaishnava Sambardhan. He was so polite, in 1 week you can get 7 soaps also, 1 soap for every day. You take one soap and you take bath and leave it there. Another place, you take another, leave it here. Every day he'll give you one soap. Very, very benevolent. Devotee is Prabhuji is the best manager. Such a wonderful devotee, There was another manager who was Vaishnava Samvardhan. Anything you ask, you would say, Prabhu, right now I don't have the register. After the class is over, he'll go to the ashram. First I will look at the register and then I will give you. Devotee said, Prabhuji, don't choose the register, Prabhuji, it will take time. You just give me now, later on you can mark. They will say, no, wait a minute. So I go and open the register. Prabhu, you took last week only. Where is that soap? Prabhuji, that soap, I went to Pandharpur, I left it there. I took a bath on the way back, a bus came fastly, I had to come back, I left it there. You have to get a permission from temple president. He said, you want a new soap? Some fellows are extremely strict, some fellows are extreme. So we want a person who can, combine these two things, Yeah, it's very... Yeah.
What a leader should learn. Avoid delegation with no empowerment.
Yeah. What is the meaning of this? I'll tell you a practical example. When one temple, one Prabhuji was made president in that temple. But how he was made president? He was secretly told by the leaders above that you are the temple president, okay? And nobody else was told. Other people didn't know that. So he assumed, okay, my seniors have told I am president, so I am president. So there were 15, 20 boys, young boys coming and living in the temple, eating prasad, not coming for Mangalarti, not following any sadhana standards. So this fellow wanted to remove them, to tell them to go out and stay. But they said, you cannot remove us because we are in touch with your leader, who is authority for that center. So when that leader came, this temple president said, Maharaj, you have made me president, but I am like a toothless snake. I cannot take any action on anybody because people don't know. So why don't you tell in the public, call all the congregation and all the boys, tell them that I am the president and they have to cooperate with me. Maharaj said, actually, I agree what you say. Only thing is you have to become little more mature, to be publicly declared as president. Till then, you just be president, we will see. Now the problem is, now because of this, people don't respect. This is called as delegation without, you understand, no? So what we do, generally, sometimes we have one public empowerment program. I don't know how many of you have seen. All the PMs are called, they are put in chairs. I personally put garland for them because I have full trust. I post people, I remove people also. When people lose character, we remove them. When people are qualified, we post them. So we put garland for everyone and we glorify them, we praise them, we thank them. And publicly everybody knows who is project manager, who is project advisor. Because actually you have to demand character and if they have it, you post them. They stick to it. That is actual delegation with empowerment. You are also delegating the service when you are giving and empower them in the public. Then people will obey them. Like I'll tell you another interesting thing. Once when a big group of devotees from Pune went, about 400-500 devotees had gone to Chowpatty. So after the Bhagavatam class, everybody was surrounding Maharaj on all sides. I was also there. And some brahmacharis were asking Maharaj, we want to take some instruction from you, Any instruction for me personally? One brahmachari was asking. Maharaj, where is Radheshyam? He asked. And I was saying, Radheshyam is here. You should take instruction from him. He was telling. Yes, Maharaj, Rajshampur gives many instructions already. But we thought that if you give some instruction, it will be nice. He said. Maharaj says, whatever he says, if you do, I'll be pleased. That's what he said. So another devotee also indirectly asked Maharaj, Maharaj, I am doing this service, I am doing that service. Yes, Maharaj said, very nice. And then Maharaj would like to give some guidelines. Then he asked, ask Radheshyam. Again Maharaj said, yes, Maharaj, Rajshampur has also seen all these things. He said, no, whatever I want to say, he will tell you. Like that he said. So he empowered me more than what I deserve also. He has so much trust in me. So in this way, this is not the first time. This he has done it dozens of times. When people have gone to Maharaj, isn't it? You will see always. And then later on after this episode, I was supposed to go to Maharaj's room and submit a report to him about the activities in Pune. So when I went to Maharaj's room, Maharaj told me that how I should deal with my subordinates and how I should deal with the managers. So he spoke to me almost half an hour, very wonderful things, which was actually a kind of correction, helping me to become a better leader. But that he did not tell in the public. In the public he empowered me. In private he corrected me. You understand? No? So this is called as glorify in public and chastise in private. This is a very important quality. So, and then his guidelines were very much helpful to me, and I adopted them, and it really helped me very much. So in this way, he has put trust and given abundant freedom. Even Gopakrsha Maharaj also gives abundant freedom in Pune to work. But when you will get that freedom, if you stand to their expectation, then you will also be given that freedom. Like we have a PM, we have a PA. So they have to be doing the service in such a way that they will be given more freedom. But if you find that, there are a lot of mistakes happening there, like morning program is not going properly, the classes are not happening. Sometimes they replace the classes with management meetings. 3 classes in a week is replaced by 3 management meetings. So then more accountability will be demanded. You understand, no? Similarly, one preacher told the devotees, you all go for follow-up in the night, come back at 11 o'clock and morning, you can get up at 6. So when you make such adjustments, then what will be demanded? More accountability will be demanded. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
A leader should not take up everything on himself due to greed for achieving all results himself quickly. A leader should know the level of the devotee's surrender and know that they have different capabilities, capacity, and commitment. If you equip yourself, then you apply.
See, 3 C's from a subordinate. These are the 3 C subordinate possessors. Capability, capacity, and commitment. Like Hanuman's capacity, squirrel's capacity. Is it not true? Capacity means the quantity of work that they can do. Similarly, the capabilities and skills also. It varies from person to person. Some devotees can sing well, some devotees can speak well, some devotees can manage well, some devotees can cooperate with others, some cannot. So we have to know those things. And then the commitment giving ability also varies from devotees to devotee. There are some devotees, you just tell them, once you tell them, you can assume it is done. But there are some, you tell him, and you have to put one more person to make sure he does it. And you have to put one more person to make sure this fellow will tell him. Do you think work will be done? Such people, yeah. Yeah.
If you equip yourself, then you apply and digest, and then train others also. You have come to a stage wherever no one has to chase after you.
This is the crux of the whole thing. This is the point. If any of us have come to this point, see, you should come to a stage where no one has to chase after you. You chase after yourself only. You are convinced that, my body, my mind, my words are only for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. That's all. You put me in Andaman Nicobar, put me in Canada, put me in London, put me in America, put me in India, put me in Naraka, put me in Swarga, put me in Apavarga. Wherever you put me, I will simply serve. So fully committed. This is the main point. But many people have to be chased after. You have to demand accountability, demand commitment. That's the main problem here.
Only those who are fully accountable earn the right to act in an independently thoughtful way.
Yeah. Only those who are fully accountable, they earn the right to act independently. That means any person, like for example, there's one devotee, I told Vamshadan Prabhu was telling you, if the devotees are getting 98%, 99% every time in sadhana card, after some time I tell them, stop submitting me sadhana card. Enough now. Because you have earned so much trust in my heart, now you don't have to show any more accountability. On the other hand, a person is sometimes 45%, sometimes 75%, sometimes 90%, again 32%. So what you will tell him? Prabhu, now you have to submit regularly. So he says, Prabhuji, is it alright if I submit once in 2-3 months? I asked, why? Whenever I get good marks, I will submit, Prabhuji. I said, no, now you submit every week now. He said, he said, Prabhuji, I don't want to displease you, Prabhu. Only if I show you good. You see? That is why one who is accountable, he earns the right to act independently in thoughtful way. So, you will see this delegation. In the spiritual world, Srimati Radharani is delegating to Lalita and Vishaka services. And they are delegating further to other Sakhis. And they are all delegating to the Manjaris. You will see that. In this way, the descending, we say ascending service and descending mercy comes. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gundicha Mandir, he didn't clean alone. He had a big group of Vaishnavas. And he organized it very wonderfully. Even the Harinam Sankirtan and the Rath Yatra was organized by Mahaprabhu. He said there should be, 2 circles on either side of the Rath. Isn't it? Totally there were 7. So behind and sides in the front. And Mahaprabhu personally chose the names. Who will be the leader of the circle? Who will be the singer? Who will be the lead dancer also? And it's all mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Who will be the lead singer? Who will be the dancer? Who will play the instruments? Sometimes you find a person is playing kartal, improperly. Chuk, 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 chuk. He's spoiling the whole kirtan. So we need people who can really do kirtan in such a way that everybody will be rejuvenated in Krishna consciousness. So, Mahaprabhu, you will find him organizing the Rath Yatra also. Later on you find Bhaktan Saraswati organizing yatras to Vrindavan Dham, and carrying a big pandal, making a big pandal and carrying people. So, and Srila Prabhupada organizing our whole society through the GBC. You know where Prabhupada got GBC from? From the railway, Indian Railways. Indian Railways has this GBC system, Governing Body Commissioners. And Bhaktan Saraswati had an idea about it, to do it, and Prabhupada implemented it in ISKCON. So this is a system they have. One GBC has a particular this thing. He takes care of a few temples, projects like this. So now ISKCON GBC and delegates the tasks to zonal secretaries or to temple presidents, and then temple presidents further they delegate the services to the temple devotees and empower them. In this way, delegation and empowerment is very important to expand the movement to far and wide. Actually, this is not a subject you can teach in 2 hours. If you really have to do dramas and show, if you really have to, that's what I'm doing in this email course. I'm trying to package a lot of wonderful things in a short class. Because if you make it too elaborate, nobody will have time to learn. So I think, depending on all of your own individual receptibility and capability to understand the subject, you will pick up. This PowerPoint is available. You can always go through it leisurely. I'll quickly answer the 2 questions. When I attend Mala and email classes, I find myself not comfortable with the expectations of a leader explained by you. I think I am not a leader material. But I learn very nice lessons which I can use to refine my quality of service and personality. Is it okay? Sometimes when responsible services are given, I don't take. So, depending on how much responsibility you take, you will be given more and more responsibility. Like one boy was joining a company as a GET. And they told him that we'll give you 15,000 rupees. So he asked him, so a GET, when does he become gradually a M2 level manager? He asked. He said, generally in about, when does he become a project lead? He asked. They said in about 5 years or so. They said, when does he become M2 manager? He asked. About 10 years or so. How much salary manager gets? He gets about 1 lakh rupees monthly. And when does M2 manager become M1 manager? He asked. That takes another 4-5 years more. They said. How much he gets? He gets about 1.5 lakh per month. They said. This is what he was asking. And then, so I am a GET now. So he was calculating. And then he asked, when will I become project lead? They said, first you do something. Now you are joining now, the company. Do something. Kuch karke to dikhao. Post to apne aap aayega. Position and responsibility, everything will be given to you. And when you do something, first you do something. So, in the same manner also, leave alone managerial positions. Even for your spiritual life, you should take responsibility. For example, for completing the prescribed rounds, for strictly following the 4 regs. There is RFL. You know what is RFL? Responsibility for learning. This is one of the 12 aims of Bhakti Shastric study. RFL. SC means Shastra Chakshu. F plus F means, another one is called M and M, means mood and mission. These are all Shastra games. PEA means personal application. PRA means preaching application, isn't it? There are 12 aims of Shastric study. You will all study in the Bhakti Shastri beginning. So one of the 12 is what? RFL, responsibility for learning. You see, Radha Pramod Prabhu and Sarsham Prabhu, it's so natural for them to play the morning lecture and ask questions. They have been doing it. They never get tired. Huh? They have themselves heard many lectures, and they play it, and they like grooming the devotees very nicely. So you have to take responsibility for learning in your life. You have to take responsibility for your chanting. On Ekadashi day, nobody will chase after you. How many rounds are you doing? On your own, you should try to chant more. The responsibility for your own spiritual life. Now, Prabhupada's books are oceanic. If you are not reading on your own, how many people can chase after you? How many times you can check sadhana card? So, one thing is to take responsibility for your spiritual life. And then, another responsibility is managerial life. In a managerial life, if you cannot, he says that the Mala lectures expectations are very high, it's not very comfortable, no problem. Then you take care of your own spiritual life. If you cannot lead a department, don't lead a department, just do service given to you and be happy in that, if you are happy with that. But you should be responsible in both managerially and spiritually, for whatever you have taken. Like Suril can do this much and Hanuman can do this much, but both were responsible. We have to take responsibility. If you don't take responsibility, you can never shine in life. Even spiritually also. If you don't take responsibility, because responsibility is called responsibility, which means you have the ability to respond to the stimuli that is put on you in this world. So we have to be responsible. Prabhuji, I feel in our project lot of interference comes in my service. In that way my confidence goes down. How to overcome this? That is why I asked you roles and responsibilities of PA, PL and PM. Yeah. See, it depends on your superior, who is right above you. Different superiors have different ways of functioning. So some superiors, they may give you too many guidelines and they may have too much expectation from you. Like one superior, he expects that the subordinate calls him 3 times a day. Then he phones him and he sends an everyday report about what's happening. He treats him like a baby, He doesn't give him freedom. So the subordinate feels very choked. Why is he so much after me? I am grown up so many years, So then what to do? You should tell the superior privately. Close the bolt the door. No one is around. Tell him, Prabhuji, I want to reveal my mind to you. If you hope you will not misunderstand me. I'm feeling very delicate and afraid to talk to you. But at the same time, I don't want to take it to superiors above you. So because I have faith in your leadership and your good qualities, I am telling you. He will say, what is it? I'll tell him, Prabhu, I feel there's too much interference from your side. I feel a bit choked. You may not know it, but I have to express it. I'm feeling too much choked, too much interference. I also need some freedom. I have been growing in Krishna consciousness for so many years. I know these things. I'm not a baby. So, like a father lifting the baby on his shoulder is appreciable when the baby cannot walk. When the baby can walk, he also wants to walk for some time. Every time he catches and puts, beta, you cannot walk, come here. Every time you put on the shoulder. So give me a little more freedom. And if I commit mistake, then I surrender to you. Then you can catch me, no problem. So if you tell your superior and pinpoint some examples to him, on that particular day it happened, on that occasion you did this. So I am feeling very much choked, Prabhu. I sometimes feel better you run the show, I will just be your subordinate and salute and do what you say. Don't make me a leader. If you say like this, I can tell you honestly, your superior will appreciate it very much. He will also learn from you and he will give you a little more freedom. Sometimes when leader is there and there are many equals to him, and sometimes seniors also. Generally problem comes when equals are not so bent to follow the equal leader. They take leaders not so seriously. What to do in that case? Very good question. Like when I came to Pune, Maharaj sent me with Rupa Goswami Prabhu, who is much senior to me. Rupa Goswami Prabhu is a head pujari of deity department, and he came to Krishna consciousness in 86, 87. I came in 91. So I have been, so Rupa Goswami Prabhu and my relationship is how I have a lot of respect for him. Whenever we go for house deity welcoming programs, he does the Abhishek part and I give the lecture. He tells me to give the lecture, I give the lecture. I tell him also to speak a few words, so he also speaks. So I treat him with enormous dignity and respect, because he's seen it to me also. And he treats me as a president. He feels that, although he thinks I may be senior from age point of view and the number of years in which I came to Krishna consciousness, but from a practical managerial point of view, Radhesham is representing GBC and as a temple president, so I have to cooperate with him. So he does everything before telling me before. And I see him as, this is the beauty of Vaishnava philosophy. You can always consider others superior in one way or other. Like somebody, might have come to Krishna consciousness after you, but in age, if they are superior, you can respect them. Like Keshan Prabhu, you may say, Prabhuji, in age you are very superior. Or somebody may be holding a post, so you can say, you're holding post, so I respect you. Isn't it? Or somebody may be better than you in wisdom, so you respect them for the wisdom. So in this way, if your equals are not cooperating with you, one reason could be that your relationship with them is little casual. If you are having a very serious type of relationship and either friendly, at the same time respectful and serious, that's one thing. Another thing, you don't have to order them to do anything because they are your equals. You can take help of your seniors to order them whenever you have to tell them something to do. And because they are equals, they will behave with you slightly in a way that your juniors may behave with you with much more respect. Generally equals, that they are little more open and frank in giving feedback and everything. So it's better for you to learn to appreciate the equals, because see, seniors don't know much about you often. And juniors will always, pull you by the leg and pull you down, because they will say, Prabhuji, Ushuddha Bhakta Prabhuji, you are a great soul, they will say. So juniors are not very helpful. And seniors will only help you if you seek their help for some problem. But who are the people who know you very well? The equals. That's why we feel a little problem also with them. But equals are really good, because they will frankly speak to you. They will say, bada bada baat karte ho Vyasasan mein, in a practical life you are not doing this, they will tell you. They'll give you very nice feedback. It will be very pricking to you. You know what they are saying is right, only you'll feel a bit pinch. But if you put aside your false ego, you will get a lot of help from the equals also. Srila Prabhupada ki, Bhakta Vrinda ki. Thank you very much. Oh yes. Actually, our email courses, these are actually meant for the Mala devotees. Mala devotees are Managers and Leaders Association, we call it, MALI. It comprises of the project advisors and project manager and OC and PC and IM and all the facilitators and frontlines. These people. And those who are doing indoor services, apart from the internal manager, we don't call them, because sometimes they find it boring. They may not like it, because it's a bit managerial. Yeah.
So the devotees group which is supposed to go to, they can board the bus. And the other devotees, they can assemble here by 6:15. We'll have a short harinam.